Today I'm going to present on word stress for disagreeing. That is contrastive stress. And what I mean by that is when disagreeing with a person, we can emphasize our opinions by stressing the word that differs from their opinion. And this is called contrastive stress. Um, Before I start, let's talk a little bit about what we mean by stress in English. So I'm going to talk about two aspects of stress, the syllable stress and sentence stress. But first, what is syllable stress? A syllable stress is a syllable that is louder, longer, and higher pitched. Let me give you some examples. House, bottle, library. Okay. As you can see here, the underlined syllable is longer, louder, and higher pitched, and that is syllable stress. Let's move on now. Let's now talk about what sentence stress is. Within a sentence stress is a word that is, again, louder, longer, and higher pitched. Let me show you an example of that. The underlined word will receive the sentence stress. You've done a great job on this. Okay, that concludes the review. Let's look at some examples. But before we look at some examples, please remember that contrastive stress means stressing the word that differs from another person's opinion. Okay, example one. Listen to the conversation and read the dialogue. Please notice the opposing opinion is stressed. That is hate versus love, bitter versus good. Okay, go ahead. Listen to the conversation and read the dialogue. Here we go. I hate this coffee. I think it's bitter.
Really? I love it. It tastes good to me.
Okay, as you can hear, he stressed, I hate this coffee. I think it's bitter. She, on the other hand, is opposing his opinion, so she's going to stress love. I love it, and it tastes good to me. Okay, listen one more time. I hate this coffee. I think it's bitter.
Really? I love it. It tastes good to me.
Okay, let's look at example two. Again, please listen to the conversation and read the dialogue, and please notice the opposing opinions. Notice that the opposing opinions are stressed. Here, um, person speaker B is going to stress love and cozy because speaker A thinks the weather is depressing. So let's listen. This weather is depressing.
Really? I love this weather. The clouds make me feel cozy.
Okay. We can hear that she disagrees with him. She loves the weather and she thinks it makes her feel cozy. He, on the other hand, feels depressed. Let's move on now. This example three is going to be a little bit different. Again, listen to the conversation and read the dialogue. But please notice that the contrasting items become apparent when speaker B talks. That is, for example, speaker A is going to stress hearing, okay? But speaker B will stress lovely, that is not lovely, loud, and noisy. The reason for this is because speaker A was only sharing an opinion, whereas speaker B was disagreeing. So speaker B disagrees with speaker A. So he's going to stress out his disagreement, emphasize the words that disagree with speaker A. On the other hand, speaker B is going to stress the word that she wants to emphasize, that is that she likes hearing birds in the morning. Let's listen. Let's give it a listen.
I think birds are lovely, and I like hearing them in the morning.
No, they're not lovely. They're loud and noisy. Okay. So she just speaker A was stressing hearing them because that's what she likes doing. Speaker B, on the other hand, does not. like birds, and he thinks they're not lovely, not loud, not lovely, loud, and noisy. Let's move on now. Okay, here we're gonna play a little bit of a game. I want you to listen for word stress for disagreeing, but before you listen, I want you to guess where this stress will fall. Okay, so if you were speaker B, which word would you stress if you were speaker B? So read this dialogue. Take about 5 to 10 seconds to read this dialogue, and think about where you would put the stress if you were speaker B. Okay, go ahead. Okay, let's listen.
I love dogs. They're so loyal.
I hate their barking. They're so noisy. Okay, here we can see that speaker B opposes speaker A's idea. He emphasized noisy. He doesn't like their barking. He thinks they're more noisy than loyal. Listen one more time so you can hear that stress.
I love dogs. They're so loyal.
I hate their barking. They're so noisy. Okay, let's do another example. Similar exercise. If you were speaker B again, which word would you stress? Take about 10 seconds to read these two, speaker A and speaker B, to read the dialogue and guess where speaker B will put the stress. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's listen.
Let's go to the mountain this weekend.
No, I don't want to. I want to go to the sea. Okay, the opposing opinion is stressed. Here, she wants to go to the mountain, but he wants to go to the sea, so he's stressed sea. Listen one more time to confirm.
Let's go to the mountain this weekend.
No, I don't want to. I want to go to the sea. Okay, so um, to conclude, let's summarize. Let's summarize to conclude. Let's recap. When disagreeing with a person, we can emphasize our opinion by stressing the word that differs from their opinion. Contrasting items may not become apparent until speaker B talks and emphasizes with stress his or her disagreement. A suggestion: in the same way that we can guess which items will speaker B stress, we can also emphasize our opposing opinions during discussions. Okay, that concludes this presentation. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you have thoughts, questions, or concerns, please email me. And I look forward to seeing you in class in the future.